Good evening, everybody. Welcome to SHN Sports coverage of Georgetown Eagle baseball. We're live. The first district game of this season, and we're on the road at Tom Glenn High School in Leander, Texas. I'm Wally Harmon here with the call of the ball game. The Georgetown Eagles come in 9-1 on the year, facing off against the Glenn Grizzlies, who come into the ball game 7-5 in the young season. First district game for both teams tomorrow night. The Georgetown Eagles get to have their home district opener, and we'll be live on here on SHN Sports, 6:45 for the pregame. First pitch, 7 o'clock from the friendly confines of Georgetown High School back in Georgetown, Texas. Tomorrow night, we will be taking on the Marble Falls Mustangs for the first district home game of the year. The Glenn Grizzlies coming to the ball game, the home team, wearing the all-whites, white pants, white jersey tops, navy blue numerals, navy blue hats. And your Georgetown Eagles, I love it. I was talking to Coach Vieira before the ball game. The white pants, the black jersey, a nice brand new black hat with a Eagle talon on the top. Classy, sharp uniform for the Eagles here on the road. In the Georgetown blue numerals outlined in white. Got the black and white striped socks, the blue cleats as Coach Vieira steps out of the dugout. Two umpire crew here tonight, home plate umpire and the field umpire. They wait for the starting lineups to be introduced. They wait at home plate to have that meeting with Coach Vieira and Coach Darling. The starting lineup for the Glenn Grizzlies, they are coached by Zach Darling, assisted by Alberto Guzman, Zach Tatro, and Tobin Schneider. Their starting lineup tonight, leading things off, playing center field, number 11, Brett Hall. Batting second, playing shortstop, number 1, Luke Berryhill. Batting third and catching, number 10, A.J. Click. Batting cleanup and starting out the ballgame on the mound for the Grizzlies is number 22, Holden Harris. Batting fifth and playing right field, number 15, Campbell Krizwanski. Playing first base, batting sixth, number 6, Rome Foronado. Batting seventh and playing third base, number 8, Jake Houghton. Batting eighth, the DH, number 5, Ethan Toller. Toller will be hitting in the place of the left fielder, number 14, Ethan Berriman. And batting ninth for the Grizzlies, starting it off, the second baseman, number 2, Logan Worley. So for the Grizzlies, Hall, Berryhill, and Click, the top three. Harris, Krizwanski, and Foronado, the middle third. And Houghton, Toller, and Worley, the bottom three for the home team, the Glenn Grizzlies. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be back with the starting lineup for your Georgetown Eagles. We'll have the national anthem, and then we'll be ready for the first pitch and start off this district season here on the road live on SHN Sports. We'll be right back with more Georgetown Eagle baseball in just a moment. here live at Glenn High School in Leander, Texas for the season opener district play for your Georgetown Eagles. I'm Wally Harmon here with the call tonight. Tomorrow night, back home, Georgetown High School for the first home district ball game, hosting the Marble Falls Mustangs tomorrow night. Back in Georgetown tonight on the road to open up district play against the Glen Grizzlies. The coaches meeting at home plate with the umpire crew. Head coach for your Georgetown Eagles is Jordan Vieira, the alumnus of Georgetown High School. He's been with Georgetown 7 years now in a coaching capacity and in his third season as head coach of your Eagles. Assistant coaches, Chad Payne in his second year at Georgetown, David Durrell in his fourth season, Robert Hom, fourth season for him, and Barry Johnson in his first season. All assistant coaches here in the Georgetown Eagle program. The starting lineup for your Georgetown Eagles, who come into the ballgame 9-1. Their lone loss against Saxe of a 6A school, a 4-1 loss. And talking to Coach Vieira, some things done there, an opportunity to see how the kids respond, but a little bit too late in that, but a tough 4-1 loss. But the only loss this team has seen, they were the Raising Cane's champions of the tournament down in San Antonio to start things off of the year. They went 6-0. The biggest thing that they took out of that, they came from behind in the semifinal game against Smithson Valley, down 7-1 at one point, come back, win the game 8-7, and then go on to win the championship over Bernie 6-0. And so this team has had some great competition in their 9 games. One tournament iced out. They were supposed to play. I was kind of excited. They were supposed to play the Amarillo Sandys, my spouse's alma mater, but the weather was unfriendly there in the first tournament of the Central Texas First Pitch Classic, and so no games were played for the Eagles in that series. But then they went on to the San Antonio Comal Classic, the Raising Cane's tournament, went 6-0, and were named Team of the Week here in the local area. Come into this ball game ranked 10th in the state in 5A baseball at 9-1. Then they went on to the Scotland Yard Classic, and that's where they went 3-1. Didn't play any games on Friday due to weather there as well, but got in 4 games there, had a +12 run differential, and so just had a good showing there outside that one loss there against Saxe, but doing a great work and getting some stuff in, some experience in for different players and different pitchers as they got ready for tonight's district opener. The starting lineup for your Georgetown Eagles, leading it off, playing shortstop, will be number 21, the junior Landon Hellman. Batting second and catching will be number 19, Zachary Mazik. I'm going to try to get that name right. I know he's been called Mazik a lot. I talked to some parents in the crowd. Mazik, the catcher, and batting second. Batting third, playing second base, number 2, E.J. Davis. Davis batting third. The cleanup hitter and playing left field is number 3. That is Ty Klaus Kissamore. Kissamore playing left field and batting cleanup for the Eagles. Batting fifth, playing first base, number 25, Reese Bell. Bell, the number 5 batter for your Eagles. Batting sixth and playing third base, number 5, Logan Smith. Smith, the third baseman, batting sixth. In the 7th slot, the designated hitter, number 20, Riley Leininger. Leininger, the sophomore DH, batting in the 7th position. In the 8th position, the right fielder, that'll be number 10 tonight, Jacob Haddon. Haddon in right field, batting 8th. And batting 9th for the Eagles in center field is number 16, Andon Petty. Petty in center field, batting 9th for your Eagles. So Hellman, Mazik, and Davis, the top 3. Klaus Kissamore, Bell, and Smith, the middle third. And Leininger, Haddon, and Petty, the bottom 3 in the Georgetown Eagle lineup to start things off tonight. On the mound for your Georgetown Eagles is number 13. I'll switch of papers here to not blow away in the wind. The senior, Nick Nolan, will be on the mound for your Georgetown Eagles to start things off tonight. We'll flip over to the stats here and go to our pitching stats. And that's the fielding stats. I don't need those for the pitcher, Nolan. I need to go to the pitching stats. There it is. Nick Nolan comes in. He's thrown 6.2 innings so far. He's appeared in 2 games. Started those 2 games. Has 1 win, no losses, no saves. He comes in with a 5.25 ERA. here in the ball game. He's allowed 7 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned. Walked 5, struck out 7, and hit 1 batter. Has a whip of 1.80 on the young season. As the PA announcer announces the starting lineup for the Glen Grizzlies, we're going to prepare for the national anthem. We'll turn the camera here, and we'll go to the field mic, bring you the national anthem, and we'll be back with more Georgetown Eagle baseball. The first pitch coming up here in just a minute on SHN. Live here on SHN Sports, where Glen Grizzly Field, the Grizzly Den, whatever you call it. We're live in Leander, Texas, on the campus of Glen High School for tonight's opener, District 25 5A baseball. The Glen Grizzlies, the home team. Your Georgetown Eagles will lead it off here in the top of the first. Hellman, Mozick, and Davis will start things off. The junior, flipping these pages here in the wind. Totally different here, so I got to be careful not to lose anything. The junior leading it off, Landon Hellman. He'll be playing shortstop. He'll lead it off to start things off for the Eagles here at the top of the first. Eli here on one. Landon comes in. Hellman comes in. The .310 average, .432 on base percentage, .345 slugging percentage. He scored 12 runs, has 5 RBIs, 1 double, 8 hits. 9 hits, 8 singles.
Leading it all for the Eagles, the shortstop, Eli Hellman.
So Hellman will step in to lead it off from the right side here for the Eagles. The white pants, black and blue stripes down the side. The black unis, the black uniform tops looking good tonight with the Georgetown blue numerals on the back outlined in white. Harris, the pitcher, fires the first pitch inside. It's off the catcher's glove to the backstop, and it gets by him, ball 1. Hellman up early in the count, 1-0. Here to lead things off. Sun setting here behind us, so you'll have some shadows on the screen, and we apologize. So as the sun comes down, it'll look a little better. This pitch high and out. 4-2, 2-0 now, the count.
2 balls, no strikes.
To Eli Hellman, the shortstop. Mazik on deck. Harris from the stretch. The 2-0 pitch. That's high for ball 3, a 3-0 count. So we get a bat here for Hellman to lead things off. 3-0 the count. Harris delivers the 3-0 pitch. It's in there. Hellman takes it for strike one. 3-1 the count now. Defensively, Houghton at third, Berryhill at short, Worley at second, Fortunato at first. On the infield for the Grizzlies, the 3-1 pitch outside ball 4, and Hellman draws the leadoff walk to start things off.
Here's Zachary Mazop
For the helmet,
the second baseman, E.J. Harris on deck.
Mazik, he'll step in from the left side. Number 19, the senior catcher, Zachary Mazik. He'll step in here. No outs, 1 runner. The leadoff runner, Hellman, down at first base. Pickoff attempt over to first. Hellman slides back in safely. Mazik steps in, batting a gaudy .650. Fouls this one back to the screen for strike 1. 0-1 the count to Mazik. The lefty, 7 singles, 3 doubles, 3 triples. 6 RBIs so far here in the early season. He's walked 7 times, struck out only twice. .650 average. Tries to lay a bunt down, pops it up. And the catcher, Click, builds it in foul territory for out number 1.
Nicely. 1 down. Here's E.J.
So the Eagles find their first out. Hellman stays down at first base. 1 out here in the top of the first. That'll bring up number 2, E.J. Davis. The senior second baseman steps in from the right side. First pitch from Harris. High. No. Just a delayed call there. Takes a fastball for strike 1. 0-1 the count now. To Davis. Hellman with the lead off first base. Being held on there by Fortunato. Harris comes set. And a base hit by Davis into left field. It gets past the left fielder. Here comes Hellman around third base. He'll score. Davis around to second. He'll head to third base. And he'll be in there for... Got to give him a single. I assume it was an error. I give Davis a single there. He gets to third base on the error by the left fielder. But a hit and run played well there as Davis takes it to left field. The error charge to Berubin for the Grizzlies. So an early 1-0 lead for your Eagles.
1-0 Eagles.
Hellman was easily going to make third on the base hit as he took off on the pitch. But he ends up being the beneficiary of the 2-base error. So give Davis the single. Strike 1 to Klaus Kizamore. Ty Klaus Kizamore, the senior. Left fielder steps in here, the cleanup hitter. Second pitch is high for ball 1. Evens out the count at 1-1 now for Kizamore. He comes in batting .308 on the season. Has 9 RBIs. Sees the net 1-1 pitch. Cuts at it, fouls it up. Back here over press box. Out of play.
1-2 the count.
And Ty finds himself behind in the count now. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here at the top of the first, 1-0. Early on, the Eagles, the beneficiary of a error by the left fielder. Davis with the base hit. And a swing and a miss. And Ty down on strikes for out number 2. And that'll bring up the 5th batter in the Eagle lineup. That'll be the first baseman, Reese Bell.
Logan Smith on deck.
Reese, the senior. First baseman steps in from the right side. Bell batting .423 on the year, .429 on base percentage. Takes a cut at the first pitch for a strike. 0-1 the count to Bell. Holden Harris settles right back in for the Grizzlies on the mound after the error by Baruman. This pitch, and Bell drives it into right center field. Center fielder closing in on it. It's off his glove, and it's down. I think the Sun played a big part of that one there. It's off the tip of his glove, and he had a full sprint coming out from left center field. He had shaded left to second base. On a full sprint, it went off his glove.
Right center.
That scores Davis from third base, and the Eagles take a 2-0 lead. They're going to give a base hit to Bell.
Make the play. Scores a run.
Nope, they do give an error. So it is not a base hit for Reese Bell. They're going to mark it there on the center fielder Hall. So the Eagles, 2 runs on 2 errors here in the top of the first. First pitch to the 6th batter in the lineup, the third baseman, Smith. He steps in here with 2 outs, 2 runners across. Logan Smith, the senior, steps in from the right side. Steps in batting .313 on the year. Pickoff attempt over to first base. Bell slides back in safely. Dove back in there. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs here, top of the first. The Eagles an early 2-0 lead. The 1-0 pitch struck into left field. And Baruman takes a couple steps back and makes the catch here for out number 3. That's 7 in the book. And after a half an inning, the Eagles lead it 2-0. 2 runs on 1 hit, 2 errors. 1 runner left on. Take a break and be back for the bottom of the first. You're listening to Georgetown Eagle Baseball on SHN Sports.
2-0.
To the bottom of the first. Due up for the Grizzlies. Hall, Berryhill, and Click. Brett Hall, the center fielder, steps in. Face the lefty. Nick Nolan, starter for the Eagles tonight. From the windup, the first pitch. Ground ball to shortstop. Hellman up with it. Fires the bell at first for the putout. 6-3 in the book. And 1 pitch, 1 out. And Nick Nolan makes quick work there of leadoff hitter Hall.
Here's Berryhill, the shortstop. A.J. Click, the catcher, on deck.
Luke Berryhill, the shortstop, steps in from the right side as well. Nolan from the windup. The first pitch swinging down the third base line, but it trickles foul. Defensively for your Eagles, Klaus Kisamore in left, Petty in center, Haddon in right field, your outfielders. Smith at third, Hellman at short, Davis at second, Reese Bell at first for the Eagles. Second pitch driven into center field. Petty backs up a few steps, makes the catch. 3 pitches, 2 outs, F8 in the book. If you're keeping score at home, and 2 batters up and 2 batters down for the Grizzlies. And that'll bring up the number 3 hitter, A.J. Click, the catcher for the Grizzlies. He'll step in from the right side.
Holden Harris on deck.
Mazik, the catcher. And Nick Nolan, your pitcher, defensively here for the Eagles tonight. Nolan's first pitch, up and out for ball one. Comes back with a strike. 1-1 to count. Now to A.J. Click. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Nolan fouled off by Click, back to the screen. And now ahead in the count is Nolan. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
1 ball, 2 strikes. A.J. Click, the catcher.
Click, the catcher, back in. The pitch fouled off. Back to the backstop. You hear the pop of the microphone there. Hopefully it survived. It tucked it down between 2 pads there on the back wall. That was a loud pop. Click stays alive on the foul ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. No runners on. The pitch fouled off down the first base line, up over the dugout, out of play. And A.J. Click stays alive now. He'll step back in. He'll see his 6th pitch of the at-bat. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first for the Grizzlies. Nolan delivers the pitch. And a ground ball softly down the first base line. But it just stays foul. Reese Bell fielded it right at the bag, but just foul. And Click back to the batter's box for the 7th pitch as he stays alive, fouling off the last 3 in a row. Nolan from the windup. The 1-2 pitch. Slashed foul down the third base line. Coach Darling gets out of the way of that one. Comes off the fence out into the field of play. So it'll be a timeout here as the shortstop Heltman runs over to get it off the field. Nice quality of bat here for the catcher, A.J. Click. He steps back in. He'll see pitch number 8 here in this at-bat, the 1-2 pitch. And a fly ball into left field. Klaus Kizamore over towards the left field line, makes the catch in foul territory, and the Eagles get out of the first inning pretty easily, 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors, no men left on base. After 1 inning, it's 2-0 Georgetown. Back with more Eagle baseball on SHN in just a moment. To the top of the second here for Glenn High School in Leander, Texas. The Georgetown Eagles lead it after 1. 2-0. 2 runs on 1 hit. 2 big errors by the Grizzly outfield in the top of the first inning. Davis had the base hit to left field. The hit and run was on. Heltman came around second base. The ball was in for a base hit, but it gets past the left fielder for the Grizzlies, Berubin. And that gets almost all the way to the wall. That allows Davis to get all the way to third. Hellman scored from first. And then Reese Bell came up, hit one to right center field. And the center fielder, Hall, couldn't get there in time off the end of his glove. It falls into play. Bell got to first base, and Davis scored from third. Then returned to bottom of the first with 3 up, 3 down of the Grizzly hitters. Leininger, Haddon, and Petty, the 3 due up here for the Eagles in the top of the second inning. Leininger steps in from the left side. Holden Harris from the right side from the stretch. Low and outside for ball 1 to Leininger. Holden Harris threw 16 pitches in the first inning. Back up here from the stretch. Leininger from the left side, ready. Takes this one on the outside corner for strike one. Evens up the count at 1-1. Leininger in his 7th appearance here on the season. Batting 200. Ground ball out to second base. Worley up with it. Fires across to Fornato. Fornato did a good job there of scooping it out of the turf for the putout. 4-3 in the book. And Leininger retired for the first out here in the top of the second, and that'll bring up the right fielder. Jacob Haddon will step in from the right side.
Here's Jacob Haddon.
Haddon batting .294 on the season. .294 slugging percentage. Steps in here with one out in the top of the second inning. His first at bat of the ballgame. Fouls it off for the catcher. Back to the backstop for strike one. Haddon, the right fielder tonight for the Eagles. Behind in the count now. 0-1, one out. Haddon back in. The batter's box and ready. Holden Harris from the stretch. The pitch. That's just low for ball one. Evens out the count at 1-1.
1-1.
Good eye there for Jacob Haddon. He'll step back in. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Here in the top of the second. The pitch from Harris. Haddon grounds it towards third base. The third baseman, Houghton, couldn't handle it. The shortstop grabs it, but not going to be able to make the throw in time. See how they rule it here as we're on the road. Looking towards the scoreboard, and it's going to be the third error of the game. Haddon reaches base.
Third base, he couldn't handle it.
So they're going to give an error to Houghton, the third baseman, the third error of the ball game, and that'll bring up the number 9 hitter.
Here's Hamden Petty.
In the ball, number 9 hitter in the Eagle lineup. Petty steps in from the right side. He'll bunt it, but it's a liner out to the pitcher's mound. Off and running was Haddon. He'll be doubled off there. 2 bunt attempts so far in the ball game. Both been popped up by the Eagles, and that gets the Grizzlies out of it on the double play. P1 for the out on Petty. Then he fires the first baseman Fornato to double off Haddon. So 1-3 on the force out, and that brings out number 3. No runs, no hits, 1 error, no runners left on base. After 1.5, the Eagles lead it by 2 over Glenn. Back after this with more Eagle baseball on SHN.
After 1.5, Georgetown 2, Glenn 0. Holden Harris.
Now to the bottom of the second. The 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up for the Grizzlies. Harris, Krizwanski, and Fornato. The pitcher, Harris, steps in from the right side, takes the first pitch inside for ball 1. 1-0 the pitch, or the count to Harris. Nolan with the windup, fires it in there. Strike 1, evens up the count now. 11 pitches thrown in the first inning for Nick Nolan. From the windup, the 1-1 pitch inside for ball 2. To the pitcher, Holden Harris.
2 balls and a strike to Harris.
Nolan readies and delivers the 2-1 pitch. It's in there for strike 2. And the count evens back out now. 2 balls, 2 strikes here in the bottom of the second. 2-0 your score. Georgetown leads it on 2 runs in the first inning. Harris checked his swing. And the ball was inside.
Count's full to Holden Harris.
Count full to Harris. 3 balls, 2 strikes. He just held off. They checked down the first, and he did not go around. So it was the first base umpire. The full count pitch, and Harris pops it up. It's going to be into right field. Wind playing havoc, but the catch made there for the Eagles for out number 1 by Haddon. F9 in the book, and the first out of the inning recorded for the Grizzlies.
The right fielder. Number 6, Rome Fornato on deck.
Rome Fornato, the first baseman, steps in, or correction, number 15, the right fielder, Campbell Grzwanski, steps in from the left side. The breaking pitch outside for ball 1 from Nolan. Want to know the count? Second pitch fouled off back towards the Georgetown dugout for strike 1. 1-1 the count now to Grzwanski. Nolan wasted no time from the windup. The 1-1 pitch. It's high for ball 2. 2-1 now the count to Grzwanski.
Campbell.
The right fielder steps back in from the left side. Nolan from the windup. The 2-1 pitch fouled off back to the screen for strike 2. 2-2 now. 1 out here in the bottom half of the second inning. Rome Fornato, the first baseman on deck for the Grizzlies. Here in the bottom of the second. Nolan back and ready from the windup. Delivers the 2-2 pitch. And Grzwanski stays alive, reaches out and slaps that one foul back out of the, over the screen down the third base line. Grzwanski back in from the left side. The 2-2 pitch from Nolan. Ground ball towards first base. Reese Bell waits, takes it off the small hop. Beats Grzwanski to first base. 3 unassisted for out number 2. And 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom half of the second inning, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Rome Fornato. He'll step in from the right side, his first at bat of the evening here in the second inning for the Grizzlies. Nick Nolan ready on the mound for Fornato. He's in the box, and Nolan delivers the pitch inside.
Jake Houghton on deck.
For
Third baseman.
the ball. Third baseman Jake Houghton on deck for the Grizzlies. Nolan delivers the pitch, slap down the right field line, but that'll cut foul down the first base line. Out of play. And the count evens up. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 Fornato. Nolan back ready on the mound and delivers the 1-1 pitch. Low and inside. Ball 2 now to
2 balls
Fornato.
and strikes, the count.
Nolan ready. Fornato back in the box. The 2-1 pitch. Fornato checks his swing, but takes the strike, and it evens up the count now. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Here in the bottom half of the second inning. 2-0 Georgetown over Glenn early on in the ball game. The 2-2 pitch just inside, and now a full count for the first baseman, Fornato. Beautiful night now as the sun starts to go down. Nolan, the wind and deliver on the 3-2 pitch. It's inside, and he walks him. First walk issued of the ball game for Nolan. And that puts Fornato down at first base. First base runner of the ball game for the Grizzlies, and that'll bring up the third baseman, number 8, Jake Houghton. Houghton will step in from the right side with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the second.
He's a Grizzly third baseman, number 8. Ethan Toller on deck.
Nolan from the stretch for the first time in the ball game. The lefty looks over at Fornato, fires the first pitch. It's in there for strike 1 to Houghton. 0-1 the count. Nolan just issued his 6th walk of the season. Reddy's back from the stretch. This one inside, gets away from the catcher. He's going to throw down to second base in time. Oh, my, what a play there by the catcher, Mazik. Ball got off as an inside pitch. Clips off his glove. He gets it quickly and throws out Fornato down at second base, trying to advance on the pass ball. And a great play there by Mazik, and he guns down the runner. 2-6 on the putout. That'll end the second inning for the Grizzlies. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 runner left on base. We go to the top of the third. 2-0 your score. The Eagles lead it over the Grizzlies. Back with more Eagle Baseball and SHN in just a moment. of the top of the third inning. The Eagles lead it by 2-0 over the Glen Grizzlies. Due up here in the top of the third for your Eagles will be the 1, 2, 3 hitters, Hellman, Mozick, and Davis. Hellman walked in his first at bat. He'll step in from the right side here to lead things off in the top of the third with a 2-run lead. Holden Harris still pitching for the Grizzlies from the stretch. The right-hander fires it in low and outside for ball number 1. One ball, no strike. The pitch, ground ball down the third base line, and it's fair just on the line. Hellman around first. He's going to head to second base. The left fielder comes up with it, fires, but it's cut off by the shortstop, and Hellman a leadoff double to start things off here in the third for the Eagles. What a job there, and it got just past the outstretched arm of Houghton. Landed right on the line after he hopped the base, and Hellman with the leadoff double. 1 for 1 in the ball game now is Hellman. He scored the first run of the ball game on the error by the left fielder, Berubin. Mozick steps back in from the left side, 0 for 1 in the ball game. He popped out to the catcher on a bunt attempt back in the first inning. Steps in here from the left side. First pitch, low for a ball, 1-0 the count. Click will go out to visit with Harris. I think a little mix-up on the pitch call there. Click had set up for something different. That one caught him off guard. Ball 1 to Mozick, 1-0 the count. Lead-off batter, Hellman, down at second base with the lead-off double. Start off the top half of the third inning for your Eagles. Mozick steps in. Back in the box from the left side. Holden Harris comes set, looks back at Hellman at second, now fires the pitch in. It's high for ball 2. 2-0 the count now to Mozick. Zach Mozick, the left-handed hitting catcher, steps back in. 2 balls, no strikes. Hellman leaves off second. The pitch gets away from the catcher. Click back to the backstop, and Hellman easily moves up to third base. 3-0 the count now to Mozick. And Hellman. A wild pitch there. First of the ball game for Harris. Now Hellman down at third base. No outs here in the top half of the third. Mozick squeezes things up, scoots up in the box, pinches off the plate. Harris comes set, the 3-0 pitch, and it hits Mozick. He ate that on a 3-0 pitch. Just give me ball 4. But Mozick wears it. And he'll be down at first base after being hit by a pitch. First batter hit by a pitch. Now a courtesy runner for the catcher. It's going to be number 4, Wade Denton. Denton will come in to run here at first base. No outs, top of the third.
Pinch running.
2 runs, 2 hits, no errors for your Eagles. No runs, no hits, 3 errors for the Grizzlies. We're here in the top half of the third inning. No outs, runners on the corners.
E.J. had a base hit his last time up.
E.J. Davis, the second baseman, steps in. He had a single. There goes Denton. Throw down from Click, sells into the outfield. Hellman easily scores from third. And Denton all the way up to third base. That'll be a throwing error on the catcher, A.J. Click. 4th error of the ball game.
Eagles pushed across the run here.
Now Coach Darling will take a timeout. Go out and talk to his pitcher, Holden Harris. Quick timeout here on SHN. Back with more Eagle baseball in just a second. Darling, done with his visit, walks off the field. Davis steps back in the box, 1-0 count. Denton, the runner, down at third base. This pitch in there for strike 1. 1-1 the count now to E.J. Davis.
By the umpire.
1 for 1 in the ball game. Scored the second run of the ball game for the Eagles. Steps back in from the right side. The 1-1 pitch. It's low for ball 2. 2-1. Now the count to E.J. Davis. Second baseman for the Eagles. Denton, the courtesy runner for the catcher. Mazick down at third. The pitch. Ground ball to short. He's up with it. He's going to come home with it, and they're going to get Denton at home play. Nice play by the shortstop, Berryhill. So Davis reaches on the fielder's choice, but Denton cut down at home. 6-2 for the first out. So the Eagles, one run across here in the top of the third, but now have one out and a runner down at first, and E.J. Davis. That'll bring up the left fielder, the cleanup hitter, number 3, Klaus Kizamore. He steps in. He struck out swinging. 0 for 1 here in the ball game. Grounds this one down to the third baseman. Houghton up with it. He'll fire to second. It'll pull the second baseman not off the bag. He's able to keep his foot on the base. So one force out there. It'll be 5-4 on the putout to force out E.J. Davis at second. 4 out number 2, and Kizamore down at first base on the fielder's choice. And that'll bring up the number 5 hitter in the lineup, the first baseman, Reese Bell. Bell reached on an error by the center fielder. Hall back in the first inning. Left stranded. First pitch low for ball 1 to Bell. Ball hits the left field, and that's going to fall in front of the left fielder for a base hit. Broomman couldn't get up to it. Reese Bell gets his first hit of the ball game. That'll move Klaus Kizamore up to second base. So Bell now 1 for 2 in the ball game with that single to left field. That'll bring up the third baseman, Logan Smith. He'll step in. He flew out to left field. Broomman in his first at back in the first inning to end the first inning for the Eagles. He'll step in here with 2 outs in the top half of the third. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for your Eagles. Runners on first and second. The first pitch up the middle. Shortstop comes up with it, and he'll take it by himself at second base to force out Bell for the third out of the inning.
Third out at second base.
So Berryhill with the 6 unassisted cuts down Reese Bell at second base. 4 out, number 3.
2 hits.
2 hits in the inning for the Eagles, and a run on the across the board. Another error. 4th of the ball game for the Grizzlies. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for your Eagles. No runs, no hits, 4 errors for the Grizzlies after 2.5. Back with the bottom of the third. You're listening to Eagle Baseball on SHN. Go to the bottom half of the third. Jake Houghton, the third baseman, will come back up to bat. He gets a new at bat after Fornato was gunned down to end the top or bottom half of the second for the Grizzlies. Houghton's first pitch he sees is outside for ball 1. 1-0 count. Nick Nolan still the pitcher. Fires it in. It's fouled off back over the right side of the net. Out of play for strike 1. 1-1 your count. Here to Houghton, the third baseman. Nolan quickly delivers the 1-1 pitch. Just high for one of the umpires' liking. That'll be ball 2. 2-1 the count now to Houghton. Back in the box. This pitch inside. Now a 3-1 count to the third baseman, Houghton. Nolan walks off the back of the mound. Gathers himself. 31 pitches through 2 for Nick Nolan. He steps back on the mound. 3-1 the pitch. It's inside for ball 4.
Ball 4.
And Jake Houghton draws his walk.
That's the second
walk of the ball game.
so far for
Second
the Grizzlies.
runner of the ball game on to reach base
Here's
for the
Ethan
Grizzlies.
Toller.
That brings up the designated hitter, number 5, Ethan Toller. He'll step in for his first at bat here in the bottom half of the 3rd. Houghton down at first. He'll be held on by Reese Bell there. The lefty Nolan now from the stretch gives a look. He'll come home with the pitch, and it's in there. No, just high. 4 ball 1. Want to know the count? To Toller. The 1-0 pitch fouled off back to the screen. 4 strike 1 to Toller. The 1-1 pitch, it should be 1-1 pitch. They got 2-0 on the board. The 1-1 pitch from Nolan. He'll go to first base. Houghton gets back. The second baseman, Logan Worley, on deck for the Grizzlies. Nolan looks at first. The 1-1 pitch. Just outside for ball 2. 2-1 the count.
2 balls and a strike.
No outs here in the bottom of 3rd. Runner down at first. Houghton reached on a walk. The 2-1 pitch. Just outside. Mozick throws back behind Houghton, but he dives back in safely. 3-1 the count now to Toller, the designated hitter.
3 balls and a strike.
Nick Nolan off the back of the mound. Takes his hat off. Gathers himself. Runner down at first. Reached on the walk. Now a 3-1 count to the designated hitter, Toller. Nolan goes over to first. Houghton able to get back in time safely.
Logan Worley on deck for the Grizzlies.
Nolan comes set. He'll fire home. Swing and a miss. Mozick will throw back again behind the runner, Houghton, but he gets back safely at first. And now a full count to Toller. 3 balls, 2 strikes. No outs here in the bottom half of the 3rd. Houghton leads off first. The 3-2 pitch, ground ball. And it trickles foul down the third base line. So Toller stays alive in his first at bat of the night. He hits for the left fielder, Berubin. Back in. Nolan looks over at Houghton at first. Now he'll come home with the full count pitch. Popped up on the infield. Mozick back to the net. Unable to make the catch. It hits the ground. So Toller stays alive. When the ball was first in and went above the net, looked like it was coming back into the stands. Stayed into the field of play, but landed foul. So Toller stays alive. 3 balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Houghton leads off first. The 3-2 pitch, fouled off back to the net. And Toller stays alive.
Ground still full to Ethan. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Worley on deck.
3 balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Houghton leads off first. Nolan's pitch, a dirty pitch.
Strike 3.
And Toller swing and a miss for out number 1. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Worley. Logan Worley, number 2, steps in, the number 9 hitter for the Grizzlies
Here's the second
for his
baseman.
first at bat of
Logan
the
Worley.
evening.
Brett Hall on deck. Center fielder for the Grizzlies.
1 out, runner down at first. Houghton reached on the walk. Nolan delivers the first pitch. It's in there for strike 1 to Worley. 0-1 to count, 1 out. Here in the bottom of the half of the 3rd inning. Top of the lineup, due up next for the Grizzlies. Swing and a miss for strike 2 by Worley. 0-2 now the count to the number 9 hitter, the second baseman for the
0-2.
Grizzlies. Brett Hall, center fielder, due up next. This one just low. 4 ball 1, 1-2 now the count to Worley. Runner down at first, Houghton. Nolan in the stretch. Comes set. Takes a look over at Houghton at first. Now Worley will take time at home plate and be granted it, so he'll step out. Nolan steps off. Everyone will come back set. Worley from the right side, back in the box. Nolan set. The 2-1 pitch. Fouled off. Mazik unable to hold on to it. So now, I said 2-1 pitch, 1-2 pitch. Still 1-2 pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As Worley stays alive, fouling that one off. 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd. Nolan set, takes a look over at Houghton at first. He'll come home with the 1-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. 2nd strikeout of the night in a row for Nick Nolan. That'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Hall, the center fielder. He's 0 for 1 in the ballgame. He grounded out to the shortstop, Harmon, to lead things off for the Grizzlies back in the 1st inning. He'll step in here from the right side with 2 outs in the bottom half of the 3rd. Trailing by 3. Houghton leads off first, held on there by Reese Bell. Nolan takes a look, fires home the first pitch. It's in the turf. Good block there by Mazik. Keeps it in front of him. Houghton goes back to the base. 1-0 count now for Brett Hall. The 1-0 pitch. Breaking pitch in there. Hall not ready for that one. Takes it for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 3rd. This pitch down for a ball. Gets away from Mazik. He blocks it out in front of himself. Houghton goes back to first base. Nolan with the last 2 strikeouts moves to 9 strikeouts on the year. He readies for the 2-1 pitch. Takes a look at Houghton at first base. He'll go over to first base. Houghton gets back safely.
2 balls on the side. 2 outs.
Beautiful night for baseball here in Leander, Texas, as the sun down now. Nolan delivers the 2-1 pitch. Ground ball over to the 3rd baseman. Smith up with it on the run. Makes the throw to Reese Bell for out number 3. And the Eagles out of it here in the bottom half of the 3rd. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on for the Grizzlies. After 3 innings, it's 3-0 Georgetown over Glenn. Back with more Eagle baseball in just a second here on SHN.
Georgetown. Leading it off here in the top of the 4th. Probably bounced out to the 2nd baseman his last time back.
7, 8, 9 batters due up for the Eagles here in the top of the 4th inning. Leininger, Haddon, and Petty. Leininger 0 for 1. He grounded out to second base in his first at bat. Takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. Ball struck well into center field.
Takes the first bit out of the inning.
Center fielder Hall takes a few steps back and makes the catch. F8 in the book for out number 1 here in the top half of the 4th. Now it'll bring up the right fielder, Haddon. He's 0 for 1.
Here's Jacob Haddon.
In the ball game. He was doubled off on the
Jacob reached on air
bunt that
last
was
night.
lined out. He reached on the air by the third baseman. His first at bat.
On deck.
Turns the
There's a
shoulder,
strike.
takes this pitch for strike one. Back in the box, no balls, 1 strike, 1 out. And fouling it off over on the right side, out of play for strike 2. 0-2 the count.
2 strikes. Jacob in the hole here. 0-2.
Petty on deck for the Eagles, the number 9 hitter. Haddon back in. The 0-2 pitch, a swing and a miss. And Haddon goes down on strikes. 4 out, number 2. That'll bring up the center fielder.
That's the second strikeout for Holden in this game. And then Petty, the center fielder. Now
And
batting.
then Petty will step in. 0 for 1 in the ball game. Steps in here, takes the first pitch. For strike 1. Haddon Harris still on the mound for the Grizzlies here in the top half of the 4th inning. 0-1 pitch. Inside off the clicks glove.
On the count.
Back to the backstop for ball 1. The leadoff hitter, Harmon on deck for the Eagles. Should Petty reach base. Ground ball over to the shortstop. On the run is Berryhill. Makes a throw over to first to Fortunato in time. 4 out, number 3. 6-3 in the book. And the Eagles down in order here in the top of the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left on base. After 3.5, it's still 3-0. The Eagles lead it over the Grizzlies. Back for more Eagle baseball on SHN in just a moment. Go to the bottom of the 4th inning. The 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up for the Grizzlies. Here in the bottom of the 4th, Berryhill, Click, and Harris due up. Berryhill 0 for 1 in the ball game. Flew out to the center fielder.
Click on deck.
Petty back in his first at bat. Takes the first pitch for strike 1.
Looking for their first hit of the night.
Nolan on the mound. Second pitch, high for ball 1, 1-1. Gotta love the PA announcer trying to shake Nolan. Nolan throwing a no-hitter so far here through 3.5. And this ball struck, hit into left fielder. Left field for a base hit. Takes a high bounce and goes over the head of the left fielder. He'll get it back in. But Berryhill reaches base on the single. Moves up to second. On the what I'm going to presume will be the first error of the ball game on the Eagles, and it is. They rule it there. So E7, first error of the ball game for the Eagles.
Out to left field his last time up. Holden Harris on deck.
Klaus Kizamore, the ball just took a hop off that turf.
That's the
Went
first
right
hit for
over
Grizzlies tonight. Berryhill gets it.
Over his glove. They get it back in quickly. But Berryhill down at second. That brings up the catcher. Click. Nolan spins around. No throw back to second base as Davis was covering. Click 0 for 1 in the ball game. He flew out to Klaus Kizamort in his first at bat back in the first inning. steps in here with no outs and a runner at second. Fouls this one off of the catcher, Mazik. 4 strike one. 0-1 now the count to click. Harris, the pitcher, on deck. Krzyzwanski, the right fielder, in the hole for the Grizzlies here in the bottom of the fourth, trying to make some noise. Trailing by 3. Nolan takes a look back, now sends the pitch in. It's grounded towards the shortstop. Up with it, he fires and makes the play. Looks at the runner before he does and makes it closer than, than you expect at first. But a good play there by Elman. 6-3 on the putout. And Berryhill has to stay put. Holden Harris, the pitcher, steps in. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. He flew out to the right fielder, Haddon, to lead things off back in inning number 2. He steps in. He'll hit this one into right center field, and it's going to be in the gap. It's going to find turf, but cut off there by the center fielder, Petty. He'll throw it in. Reese Bell can't get to it as the throw gets away, and now the third baseman has to cover it. So Holden Harris is going to get all the way to third. The throw coming in from Haddon was off the mark from the cutoffs, and it went all the way up to the third baseline. Harris saw that third base opened up when Smith had to cover down to get the ball. So they score a run here.
Here's Krzyzwanski.
Give a double to Holden Harris. Advances on the throw. Austin Wilson, the courtesy runner for the pitcher Holden Harris at third base. 1 out here in the top half, or bottom half of the 4th inning. 1 run across. Berryhill scored on that hit there. An RBI for Holden Harris, the pitcher. Nolan fires in to Krzyzwanski. Foul tip into the glove of Mazik for strike 1. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Grounded out to Bell. 3 unassisted for out number 2 in the 2nd inning. He'll lay down a bunt. Holden Harris is coming. Smith tries to field it and flip it to the catcher, Mazik, but the pinch runner, Wilson, able to slide in safely. 2nd run of the ball game for the Grizzlies on the sacrifice bunt. It's going to go fielder's choice there as the play attempt was made at home. So Krzyzwanski down at first base, 1 out. The Grizzlies 2 runs across here in the bottom of the 4th. And now we'll get a visit from the Eagle coaching staff with 1 out here in the bottom half of the 4th. We'll take a quick timeout. Back with more Eagle baseball in just a moment. Special thanks to the Georgetown Eagle Band bringing us some of the sound tonight, the Wonga Boom, the fight song. Nick Nolan still on the mound. Settles in from the stretch. A runner down at first, a 1 out. Foul ball by Foronado. Back to the screen. 0-1 the count. Krzyzwanski down at first base. Reaches on the fielder's choice on that sacrifice, that bunt that Wilson scored. Try to make the play at home, but not in time. Krzyzwanski leads off from first. Nolan will deliver the pitch. Mazik will throw behind. Krzyzwanski dives back in safely. Ball 1 to Foronado. Foronado walked in his first at bat. A try to advance on a pass ball. Mazik gunned him down. To end the threat there in the 2nd inning. So Oh, 0 for 0 in the ball game. Nolan over to first again. Grzelwanski dives back safely. 1-1 to count. 2 for Renato, the first baseman. The 1-1 pitch. Just inside low. 4-2. 2-1 now. The count. 2 for Renato.
2 balls and a strike.
2 runs across here in the inning. The pitch low. Mazick, nice job of keeping in front of him there. Now a 3-1 count. 2 for Renato. Renato back in. 3 balls, 1 strike. Grzelwanski off first. Pitch low. And for the second time in the ballgame, Renato walks. He's at first. Grzelwanski down to second base. Now runners at first and second with 1 out. Here in the bottom of the 4th, 3-2. Georgetown leads it as the third baseman, Houghton, steps in.
1 down.
Houghton walked and is only at bat back in the top, or to lead things off in the bottom of the 3rd. Steps in here from the right side with runners in first and second. The corner's playing up for the Eagles. Middle infield playing in double play depth. Smith and Bell up on the corners on the edge of the grass. Ball fouled off for strike 1. 0-1 the count to Houghton.
Number 4, Wade Denton in the bullpen for the Eagles.
Nolan comes set. The 0-1 pitch. Houghton fouls it off. Back out of play down the first base line for strike 2.
Ethan Toller on deck for the Grizzlies.
No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here in the bottom half of the 4th, the Grizzlies have pushed 2 across so far. Cut the lead to 1 for Georgetown, 3-2. Nolan comes set in the stretch. He'll take a look back at second base. Looks again, and he'll deliver the pitch. On the outside corner, called strike 3 as Houghton takes it. And a 3-pitch strikeout for out number 2 for Nick Nolan. 3rd strikeout of the ballgame for Nolan. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Toller. He struck out in his last at bat back in the 3rd inning. 0 for 1 here in the ballgame for the designated hitter, Toller. Steps in with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Runners on first and second. Nolan with the first pitch. Swing and a miss.
Ethan struck out his last time. He's 0 for 1.
And I like what the umpire did there. Talking to Toller on his swing through, he lets go with one hand and extends that swing all the way through. It hit Mazick in the back of the catcher's gear. Kind of warned him. 0-1. Toller fouls it off down the right field line. Bell gives chase, but unable to get there in time. And it lands foul for strike 2. 0-2 now. The count to Toller.
2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th for the Grizzlies. Pushed across 2 runs.
Grzelwanski
on 3 hits.
and Fornato go back to their respective bases. Grzelwanski, the runner at second. Fornato down at first. 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 4th. 0-2 your count to the designated hitter, Toller. Nick Nolan, pitcher for the Eagles, comes set in the stretch. He fires the 0-2 pitch. Breaking pitch. Swing and a miss. What a job there by Nick Nolan to work out of that.
The 3rd out.
Second strikeout of the ball game for Toller. And that'll end the 4th for the Grizzlies. They send 7 batters to the plate.
3 hits on 2 runs.
Right now they have it at 3 hits. 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 error. And 2 runners left on base. We'll check on that during the break and be back with the top of the 5th. 3-2, Eagles lead it. You're listening to Eagle Baseball on SHN. we go to the top of the 5th. Holden Harris still on the mound for the Grizzlies. He'll face off against the top of the lineup for the Eagles. Hellman, Mozick, and Davis will lead it off.
Eli Hellman.
Hellman 1 for 1 in the ball game with a walk.
1 for 1 with a walk.
Led things off in the 3rd inning with a double. Came around to score. Scored 2 runs so far in the ball game. The 0-1 pitch high for ball 1, 1-1. So they do score the bunt by Krizwanski as a base hit. That's what I would argue being hometown scorekeeping there. That pitch on the inside corner for strike 2. Hellman now behind in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes to lead things off here in the top half of the 5th. 3-2, Eagles lead it. Holden Harris delivers the pitch. Hellman goes around. Called out. And it goes down for the first time of the ball game. Strikes out to lead things off. Nice pitch there by Holden Harris, the high heat. That'll bring up the catcher, Mozick. He'll step in. 0 for 1 in the ball game. Was hit by a pitch back in the 3rd inning. In his last at bat, steps in here from the left side with 1 out.
0 for 1 tonight. He got
pitch from Harris. Outside for ball 1. Pitch low for ball 2 to Mozick. Fouls it off of the catcher. Click back to the screen for strike 1. 2-1 now. The count to Mozick.
On deck.
Second baseman Davis on deck for the Eagles. 1 out here in the top half of the 5th. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss for Mozick. Now evens things out at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
2-2 the count. The Mazot.
Mozick back in. The 2-2 pitch fouled off to the screen. And Mozick stays alive in the at-bat. Mozick back in the box from the left side. Chokes up on the bat. Harris comes set. The 2-2 pitch. Low and outside, just out. Click held it there a little bit longer. Give the umpire a good look at it. To no avail, and it's a full count to the catcher, Mozick.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Full count. 1 out.
Mozick back in. Full count. 1 out here in the top of the 5th. The pitch from Harris. And Mozick hit by a pitch again. And he goes down to first base.
Second time tonight. Zachary's been
See
hit.
how many times Mozick has been hit by a pitch in the year. This is only the 2nd time of the year. He hadn't been hit all year. Now he's been hit 2 times in the last 2 at-bats here in the ball game.
Doing the pinch running here for the Eagles.
Wade Denton, the courtesy runner for the catcher, Mozick, down at first base.
E.J. Davis.
E.J. Davis, the second baseman, steps in. The throw over to first, gets away. Denton slid back. He's up, and he's taken off to second base. He's going to circle second. Nope, he stops there. Nice throw from the first baseman. Fornato fires a bullet from halfway out to right field down in foul territory. And Denton advances to second. It'll be a throwing error on the pitcher. 5th error of the ball game. Should be on the Grizzlies. E1 on the pickoff attempt. So now a runner down at second with 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Davis back in the box. First pitch to Davis in this at-bat. He fouls it off to the screen for strike 1. Davis 1 for 2 in the ball game. Had a single. Advanced to third on the 2-base error by the left fielder, Baruman. And came around to score a run in the top of the 1st. Reached on the fielder's choice in his last at-bat. The 1-0 pitch. 0-1 pitch, just a little bit high, and now it's 1-1 to Davis.
1-1 to count. E.J. Davis.
Wade Denton, the runner, running for the catcher, Mozick, down at second base. Gets a lead there. The pitch from Harris, the 1-1 pitch. Slap foul. Out of play for Davis. And now the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out here in the top half of the 5th. 3-2, the Eagles lead it. 2 runs in the first, 1 in the third. The Grizzlies come back in the bottom of the 4th and put up 2. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. And Davis down on strikes. Second strikeout of the inning for Holden Harris. That'll bring up the left fielder, number 3, Klaus Kizamore. Ty steps in. He's 0 for 2 on the night. Struck out swinging in the first. Reached on a fielder's choice. Back in the third. Left stranded at second base. In the third inning. He'll step in here with 2 outs and a runner down at second. Wade Denton runs for the catcher, Mazik. The pitch, up and out for ball 1 to Klaus Kizamore. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Harris looks back at second, comes set, makes the pitch home. Just outside for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes.
2 balls, no strikes.
2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. The pitch, low, ball 3.
Ball 3.
Tie ahead here. 3 balls and no strikes with 2 outs. We're at the top of the 5th inning. 3-2. Georgetown leads it by 1. Wade Denton, a courtesy runner for Mazik, leads off second. Taking all the way is Klaus Kizamore. That one's in there for a strike. Holden Harris looks back at second. Now he'll come with the 3-1 pitch. And Klaus Kizamore took a hack at that one.
3 balls, 2 strikes,
And a full count now. Swing and a miss. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the top of the 5th inning. Runner down at second base. Here's Wade Denton. Holden Harris takes a look, comes back. And a breaking pitch, swing and a miss. And Klaus Kizamore down on strikes, swinging. Harris strikes out the side to end the thread for the Eagles here in the top of the 5th. No runs, no hits, no errors. Correction. 1 error and 1 runner left on base. After 4.5, the Eagles lead it by 1, 3-2. Back in a minute with the bottom of the 5th. More Eagle baseball on SHN in just a moment.
Still 3-2. Eagles.
The 9-1-2 hitters due up here in the bottom of the 5th for the Grizzlies. Logan Worley, Brent Hall, and Luke Berryhill due up here for the Grizzlies. Worley, the second baseman, he's 0 for 1 on the night with a strikeout. Steps in from the right side. The new pitcher in the ballgame for the Eagles. Big cut and miss for Worley. We'll get all the information on the new pitcher. I believe it's Wade Denton. He was warming up. 0-1 pitch just outside for ball 1. 1-1 now the count to Worley. Looks like Wade Denton is in the ballgame pitching for the Eagles. Just outside. 2-1 now the count to Worley. 2-1 pitch, fouled off.
2-2
Back out of play.
to Logan Worley. Logan's 0 for 1 tonight.
Wade Denton. He's thrown 6 innings so far on the season, appeared in 3 games. Has 1 win, no losses, 1 save. Comes in with a 0.00 ERA. The ground ball by Worley. Down to Reese Bell at first. He'll field it, make the play on his own. 3 unassisted for out number 1.
That's the first out. Here's Brett Hall.
And that'll bring up the top of the lineup.
0 for 2 tonight.
Center fielder Hall steps in for the Grizzlies.
Luke Berryhill on deck.
Hall 0 for 2 in the ball game. A ground out to short and a ground out to third base. Steps in here with 1 out in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Denton's first pitch up and in for ball 1. Denton has 1-0 pitch in there for a strike.
1 ball, 1 strike. Brett.
He's allowed 2 hits, no runs on the season so far.
Strike to Hall.
This pitch. 2-1 now. The count to the leadoff hitter Hall. Denton comes set from the stretch. The 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss.
2-2.
2-2 now. The count to Hall. Denton coming with the heat. A right-handed pitcher. Struck out 9 on the year. Hit 1 batter. And Hall will slap this one down the right field line. It'll curl out of play for a long foul ball. So Hall stays alive in the at-bat. 2-2 still the count. 1 out. Here in the bottom of the 5th. Hall takes a hack at the high heater. Slaps this one out of play down the first base line. Staying alive. Back in the box from the right side. Hall readies. Denton from the stretch. Delivers the 2-2 pitch. And a ball sent into center field. On the run is Petty, and he'll make the catch. F8 in the book for out number 2. That'll bring up the shortstop, number 1, Berryhill. He'll step in, 1 for 2 on the night. Flew out to center field in the first at bat. And had a single and advanced to second on the error by Klaus Kisselmore. The only error in the ball game for the Eagles as it took a high bounce just over the head of Ty. First pitch here to Berryhill, called a strike.
On a big double by Holden Harris.
Berryhill singled, advanced to second, and then scored on a double by Harris for the first run of the ball game. He'll foul the second pitch off back to the screen for strike 2. And now quickly behind in the count. No balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Wade Denton on in relief for the Eagles. From the stretch, the 0-2 pitch. Outside corner, Mazik sitting right there, framed it well. Just outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Berryhill.
The 1-2 pitch. It's in there, called strike 3. And Berryhill down on strikes for the 3rd out. 3 up, 3 down here in the bottom of the 5th. And we go to the top of the 6th, 3-2 your score. No runs, no hits, no errors, no men left on base. After 5, it's 3-2. Georgetown leads it over Glenn. Back with more Eagle baseball in just a second. go to the top of the 6th inning. The 5, 6, 7 hitters due up for the Eagles. Reese Bell, followed by Smith and Leininger. Reese Bell, the first baseman, steps in.
Logan Smith on deck.
He's 1 for 2 in the ball game. Takes the first pitch from Holden Harris for strike 1. Bell reached on an error by the center fielder Hall. In the first at bat, takes a swing and a miss here for strike 2 on the breaking pitch from Holden Harris. Harris still on the hill for the Grizzlies. The starter stays in the ball game. The 0-2 pitch to Bell. It's a low for ball 1. 1-2 now the count. Bell reached on the error by the center fielder, left stranded on base, and then had a base hit to left field. In the second at bat, 1-2 on the night. Fouls this pitch. Back to the screen to stay alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's Bell. Logan Smith on deck. The 1-2 pitch from Harris. Low and outside, ball 2. Evens up the count now, 2-2. For Reese Bell. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And Bell down on strikes for out number 1. That'll bring up the third baseman, number 5, Logan Smith.
For Holden Harris here this evening. Here's number 5, Logan Smith. Logan's 0 for 2 tonight.
Logan steps back in for the right side. The first pitch.
Riley Lineker on deck.
Up and away into the backstop for ball 1. Riley Lineker, the sophomore designated hitter, on deck for the Eagles. 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. Oh for 2 on the night. Here's Smith. He pops this one up into foul territory in the first base line towards the dugout. But the first baseman, Coronado, and the catcher Click, unable to get to it. Lands just between both of them before he got to the dugout. So it evens up the count. 1 ball, 1 strike to Logan Smith.
Smith still has
third baseman. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out here in the top of the 6th, 3-2. Georgetown leads it over Glenn. Here in the district opener for both teams. The 1-1 pitch. And it's off the end of the bat to Squibber out in front of the mound. Harris fields it, makes a throw to first in time. A 1-3 on the putout for out number 2.
Nice play up, throw the runner out of first base.
And that'll bring up.
That's 2 down.
Leininger, the designated hitter. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game. Grounded out to second, flew out to center field. In his last at bat, steps in here with 2 outs. The top of the 6th from the left side. Leininger steps in. Harris comes set from the stretch. The righty throws the first pitch. It's low for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Leininger. Riley back in from the left side. The 1-0 pitch. It's low and gets away from the catcher Click. For ball 2. 2-0 now the count.
2-0 to the batter.
The 2-0 pitch slashed down the right field line, but yanked foul by Leininger just in front of that one.
Line drive foul for the first strike.
2-1 now the count.
2 balls and a strike.
To the DH Leininger. Extra baseballs now being thrown in after all the foul balls. Two balls and a strike to Leininger. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Harris ready, delivers the 2-1 pitch. And it's in there. For strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. For the designated hitter, Leininger. Lefty back in the box. Holden Harris comes set from the stretch, fires the 2-2 pitch, and slapped into left field, but it's going to curl foul. And Leininger stays alive in the at-bat. Riley steps back in from the left side and readies. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Harris set and delivers. Inside for ball 3, runs the count full to the DH, Riley Leininger. Leininger reaches base. He'll be followed by the right fielder, Haddon. Haddon on deck for the Eagles. Harris set, the 3-2 pitch. It's up and out, and Leininger draws a 2-out walk to keep the inning alive for the Eagles. And that'll bring up the right fielder. Number 10, Jacob Haddon. Haddon, the right fielder, the senior. He'll step in, 0 for 2 on the night. Struck out in his last at bat. Leininger down at first base. Fortunato will hold him on there. Haddon steps in from the right side. Readies. Harris fires it in. And it's called strike 1. 0-1 to count. Jacob back in. And awaits. The 0-1 pitch. Runner off and going. Liner goes sliding in. The ball gets away from the shortstop into center field. But Leininger didn't see it in time, so he'll be there with the stolen base. Now you got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. 0-2 the count to the senior right fielder, Jacob Haddon. Haddon settles in. No balls, 2 strikes. Harris comes set, takes a look back at Leininger. He'll fire the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And Haddon goes down swinging for out number 3. After 5.5, it's still 3-2 Georgetown. Here in the top of the 6th, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning, 3-2 Georgetown over Glenn. More Eagle baseball in just a moment.
Georgetown had no hits, 1 left. Going to the bottom of the 6th. Still 3-2, Georgetown. Great ball game here tonight by both teams.
The bottom of the 6th, the 2, 3, and 4, or the 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up for the Grizzlies. Click, Harris, and Kraswanski. Click steps in, 0 for 2 on the night. Fly out to left field and a ground out to the shortstop. First pitch up and in. Click comes animatedly flying out of the box. After the high heater from Wade Denton, ball 1. Denton on for a 2nd inning of work here in relief for the Eagles. Denton from the stretch, the 1-0 pitch. Fouled off down the right field line, out of play. And evens the count out now at 1 ball and 1 strike.
1-1 to count to A.J. Click, the catcher.
1-1 count. Denton fires the pitch. And a ball hit into center field.
Center field,
Petty moves over about 5 steps to its right. to make the catch for the first out of the inning. F8 in the book.
Long fly ball to the
And that
center
brings
field.
up the pitcher, Holden Harris. He is a 1 for 2 in the night. He is
double his last time up.
a double, an RBI, and scored a run.
Holden's 1 for 2.
Back in the fourth inning. Scored Berry Hill on his double to right center fielder. In his last at bat, steps in with 1 out. Takes the first pitch for a called strike.
Campbell Grizzlies on deck.
The 0-1 pitch, low for ball 1, evens things out to the pitcher, Harris. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Denton fires the pitch in, skips in. Nozick, a great stop off the scoop bounce. 2 balls and 1 strike now
Balls in the strike.
to the pitcher, Holden Harris. Denton comes set. Delivers the 2-1 pitch. Breaking pitch in there. What a pitch there by Harris. And now things evened up at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Harris.
The 2-2 pitch fouled off back to the screen. And Harris stays alive. The right fielder, Kraswanski, on deck for the Grizzlies here in the bottom of the 6th. Denton delivers the 2-2 pitch. Just low, and the count goes full now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So Holden Harris, the pitcher, and cleanup hitter for the Grizzlies. No runners on here. 1 out. Bottom of the 6th inning, the 3-2 pitch. And a ball sent into center field. Petty
Shot out to center field.
kind of does a little tap dance around just to wait for the ball to get there, and it does. F8 for out number 2.
That ball was hit hard.
And now that'll bring up Campbell Kraswanski, the right fielder for the Grizzlies.
By the center fielder.
0 for 2 on the night in my scorebook.
Here's Campbell Kraswanski.
Official scorebook has him 1 for 2 on that bunt. Takes the first pitch outside for ball 1.
For an auto on deck.
Kraswanski laid down a beautiful bunt that scored the courtesy runner Wilson from third base for the 2nd run of the game. Takes this pitch for strike 1. 1-1 now, the count to Kraswanski.
1-1.
For an auto, the first baseman on deck for the Grizzlies. Here in the bottom of the 6th, 2 outs. The 1-1 pitch from Denton. Just inside for ball 2. 2-1 now, the count to Kraswanski. The 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. And the count evens out now. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th.
The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strikeout. Wade Denton comes in and shuts it down again here in the 6th inning for the Eagles. The Grizzlies go down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left on base after 6. The Eagles lead it 3-2. We'll be back with the 7th inning here on SHN Sports coverage of Georgetown Eagle Baseball. Back here on SHN Sports coverage of Georgetown Eagle Baseball. We go to the top of the 7th inning. What did I say, basketball? Georgetown Eagle Baseball. It's the first game, I apologize. I'm excited. Baseball season is back. I love it. Tomorrow night, back in action at home, the home opener for district play against the Marble Falls Mustangs. The 9-1-2 hitters due up here in the top of the 7th for your Eagles. Petty, Hellman, and Mazick. Petty steps in 0 for 2 in the ball game to lead things off against Holden Harris. First pitch up and out for ball 1. Holden Harris, the starter, still in the ball game for the Grizzlies. Second pitch to Petty, a swing and a miss. Evens up the count, 1-1 now. For the center fielder, Petty. The 1-1 pitch from Harris, and a ground ball slapped to the shortstop. Fire across, and the throw up and over. Petty thought he was going to take the return, but the catcher, Click, was down there to cover. It's going to be E6 on the throwing error. The 6th error of the ball game for the Grizzlies. Petty reaches base on the error. And that's key here in the top of the 7th to get base runners on, no outs, and that'll bring up the top of the lineup. Hellman will step in. Junior shortstop Landon Hellman steps in. He's 1 for 2 in the ball game with a walk, scored 2 runs. He'll step in here with no outs and a runner down at first. Petty leads off. Square to punt. Pulls it back. The throw down to second. Gets away. Petty slides it safely. He's up. He's headed to third. He's going to take off and slide into third base. And the Eagles have the leadoff runner all the way to third now. Give the stolen base to Petty at second. The throw gets into center field. And Petty advances on that. 7th error of the ball game. Error on the catcher. Give him the stolen base. Strike 1 to Hellman as he pulled the bat back on the bunt. 7th error of the ball game for the Grizzlies. Now the infield playing up on the grass. The pitch. Oh, strike 2 called. Now Hellman. Landon steps back in from the right side, chokes up. No balls. 2 strikes, no outs. Runner at third base. The infield in. The 0-2 pitch. Up and in for ball 1. 1-2 now to Hellman.
2 strikes and a ball.
Batting averages go up about 100 points when the infield plays in due to the shortened distances and the ability for that ball to get through quicker. Hellman fouls it off down the first base line, out of play. Stays alive in the at-bat. 1 ball, 2 strikes. No outs here for the Eagles in the top half of the 7th. They lead it by 1, 3-2 over the Glen Grizzlies. Holden Harris, the starter for the Grizzlies, still on the mound. Still dealing. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. They call it a foul ball. So Hellman stays alive. Nice pitch there from Harris, too. Hellman did a great job to stay alive in that one. Coach Vieira down to check on the umpire. The ball fouled off up the umpire's arm. He's shaking it off. Gives himself the chance to regroup. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Hellman. Swing and a miss. Catcher drops the 3rd strike. But he'll tag out Hellman for out number 1. So the Eagles bring up the catcher, Mazick.
Here's Zachary Mazon.
Zachary Mazick, the senior catcher, steps in from the left side. He has a runner down at third.
He's been hit twice.
Been hit 2 times in the ball game, the last 2 at-bats. 0 for 1 in the ball game. Okay. You know that's got to be in Holden Harris's head that he's hit Mazick the last 2 at-bats. Mazick from the left side steps in. The first pitch. Wow. Outside. Catches the corner for strike 1. Click whipped it in there to frame that one. 0-1 to count to Mazick. Petty, the runner, down at third. The 0-1 pitch. Catches the outside corner for strike 2.
0-2 to the batter.
Mazick chokes up on the bat. Steps back in from the left side. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The 0-2 pitch, up and in. Thought Mazick was going to wear his 3rd in a row. He gets out of the way. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to the catcher. Zachary Mozik's this pitch outside.
2-2.
Evens the count now. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Petty. Reach base on the error by the shortstop. He's moved up to third. The 2-2 pitch. In the turf. Good scoop there by Click to keep it in front of him. And now it's a full count to the catcher, Zachary Mozik. 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Runner at third. Mozik slaps it down the third base line, but it curls out of play. And Mozik stays alive. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Harris from the stretch. Petty leads off third. No one holding him on. The infield still in for the Grizzlies. The 3-2 pitch. Fouled off by Mozik. Back out of play down the third base line. Good at bat here. Love to see him put something in play. Get it through this pinched in infield. Trying to get another run on the board for the Eagles. They lead it by 1, 3-2 here in the top of the 7th. 1 out. Petty leads off third. The 3-2 pitch. And Mozik draws a walk. What an at-bat there. He was behind 0-2 in the count. Now runners on the corner. And another courtesy runner for the catcher, Mozik. See who this will be. Number 23. Chance Faltasek. Know that name from Georgetown Eagle football. Faltasek, the courtesy runner. But now Coach Darling will come out and talk to his pitcher. Infield gathers at the mound for the Grizzlies, and we'll take a quick timeout. More Eagle baseball in just a moment on SHN. Umpire heads out, breaks up the meeting at the mound. Coach Darling comes off. Holden Harris stays in for the Grizzlies on the mound. No balls, no strikes.
Here we go, E.J. Davis.
To the second baseman, Davis. He steps in with runners on the corners, 1 out. Mozik off running. Click came up with it like he was going to throw, but dropped it. Called a strike, but now both runners in scoring position. As Mozik gets the stolen base. 0-1 the count to Davis. Davis 1 for 3 in the ball game. Scored a run in the first inning. Singled to left field and advanced on a 2-base error by the left fielder Baruman. The 0-1 pitch. Low for ball 1. 1-1 the count now to E.J. Davis. The senior second baseman. Back in from the right side. 1-1. 1 out. Infield still in for the Grizzlies. A 1-1 pitch. It's high for ball 2. Davis ahead in the count now. 2 balls and 1 strike. Center fielder playing just shaded left to second base. The 2-1 pitch. Davis holds his swing and takes the strike. Evens up the count now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Mozik, or Faltasek, the courtesy runner for Mozik, down at second base. All the way even with the shortstop. Petty down at third. Foul ball down the third base line. Fielded there by Houghton. And throws it back in. Count stays at 2-2 for Davis. Any base hit through here will score 2 runs for the Eagles. Faltasek almost halfway between second and third, just a step away from the shortstop. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. And Davis down on strikes for the second time of the ball game, and now 2 outs. And that'll bring up Ty Klaus Kizamore. And now the infield will back up. No, we'll have a pinch hitter. Here, Landon Heil, the senior, come in here to pinch hit for Klaus Kizamore, so put that one down.
Got 2 down here.
Landon Heil will pinch here in the 7th. Pinch hit. Landon Heil comes into the ballgame. He's had 13 plate appearances, 11 official at-bats, .455 average for the year. Takes the first pitch for a strike. 0-1 to count. 2 runners in scoring position on second and third for the Eagles. 2 outs here. Holden Harris comes set. The 0-1 pitch. Ground ball, hit out to second base. Second baseman bobbles it. He'll throw to first, and it's not going to be a good play as he got away from Fanato. So give an error there, the 8th of the ballgame to the Grizzlies, and that scores 2 runs as Faltasek was on the run from second base.
An error down there, a run scores.
So the 8th error of the ballgame for the Grizzlies puts 2 runners across here in the top of the 7th for the Eagles. As Petty scores from third, and Faltasek, the courtesy runner for Mazik, scores from second. Now a 5-2 ball game, and that's going to be all that she wrote for Holden Harris as Coach Darling out for the second visit of the inning. So we'll get the substitutes, bring them to you here in a minute on the pitching change. You're listening to Eagle Baseball on SHN Sports. Coming into the ballgame to pitch for the Grizzlies will be number 3, Austin Wilson. Holden Harris will come out of the ballgame for the Grizzlies. Reese Bell steps in, the number 5 hitter in the Eagle lineup with 2 outs and a runner at first. The first pitch to him, off-speed pitch in there for strike 1. One for 3 in the ball game is Bell. Steps in here from the right side. Wilson, the right-handed pitcher. His second pitch. And a batted ball towards the shortstop. Berryhill up with it. He'll throw to first. And a nice play there by Fornato to go and get it off the scoop for out number 3. 6-3 on the putout, and that ends the 7th for the Eagles. They get 2 runs on no hits. 3 errors in the inning for the Grizzlies. And we go to the bottom of the 7th. 5-2 your score. The Eagles lead it over Glenn. Back in a moment with more Eagle baseball. The bottom of the 7th coming up. The Grizzlies down to their last 3 outs here in the first district ball game of the year for these 2 teams. Back on SHN in just a moment. the bottom of the 7th inning.
It's the first baseman leading it off here in the bottom of the
Grizzlies
7th.
bring up the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Fortunato, Houghton, and Toller. Fortunato steps in. His first at bat against Wade Denton. Takes the first pitch for a ball.
Fortunato's walked twice tonight.
1-0 the count to Fortunato. This pitch on the outside corner for strike one. 1-1 now. Fortunato been walked both at bats tonight. Both plate appearances. He'll ground this one out to second base. Davis will come up with it. Fire over to Bell at first. 4 out number 1. 4-3 on the putout. Now to bring up the third baseman, number 8, Houghton.
Here in the bottom of the 7th.
Houghton steps in.
Here's Jake Houghton.
He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. He walked in the 3rd inning. Struck out looking in the 4th. Steps in here with 1 out. The Grizzlies down to their last 2 outs. Here in the ball game. Denton's first pitch inside for ball 1. 6:45 pregame. 7 o'clock first pitch tomorrow night live from Eagle Field on the campus of Georgetown High School hosting the Marble Falls Mustangs. This pitch in there for strike one. 1-1 now the count to the third baseman Houghton. Wade Denton has come in for his 3rd inning of relief for the Eagles. He has gone to work. Faced 6 batters and put them all down. This pitch outside for ball 2. 2-1. Struck out 2. 3 fly balls to the center fielder, Petty. Couple of ground outs. This pitch sails high for ball 3. 3-1 the count now to Jake Houghton. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. 5-2 the Eagles. Looking to go 1-0 in district play and improve to 10-1 on the year with a win. Wade Denton readies from the stretch. The 3-1 pitch. It's in there for strike 2. Now the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to the third baseman, Houghton.
The Houghton, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
The DH Toller on deck for the Grizzlies. Denton delivers the 3-2 pitch, slapped right up to the middle. Denton does a great job of fielding his position. Takes it off the hop, fires over to Reese. Bell at first base. 4 out number 2, 1-3 on the putout. And the Grizzlies down to their final out of the ball game as the DH Toller steps in. Toller 0 for 2 in the ball game. Struck out swinging both times. First pitch, ground ball, chopped up the third base line. But it's going to roll foul, and that's probably a good thing because I don't think they could have gotten Toller. That ball checked up on the turf and then cut out foul. Good job there by Smith to let it spin its way out foul for a strike. So the count 0-1 to Toller. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Toller from the right side gets in the box. Denton comes set from the stretch. The right-handed pitcher fires the 0-1 pitch. And a ball flared out into right field. But on the run comes the right fielder, Haddon. He makes the catch for out number 3. And that's the ball game. Your Eagles are victorious. 5-2 over the Grizzlies in the district opener here at Glenn High School in Leander, Texas. F9 in the book for the final out. We'll take a quick timeout, come back and wrap it up with some final numbers. You're listening to Georgetown Eagle Baseball on SHN Sports.
Eagles have 5 runs and 3.
Georgetown Eagles are victorious. They go on the road to open district play and get the win 5-2 over the Glen Grizzlies. The Eagles had 5 runs on 3 hits. They only had 1 error defensively and left 5 runners on base. The Glen Grizzlies 2 runs on what was given as 3 hits. They committed 8 errors, and that's where a lot of your problems come into play for the Grizzlies. A good ball team. They played a really good game. They dropped to 7-6 on the season, 0-1 in district play, but 8 critical errors, and a lot of those really came back to haunt them. None bigger there. It was a 3-2 ball game going there into the top of the 7th inning, and the error on the ground ball by Heil was a bad throw from the second baseman. He bobbled it and then forced the throw quickly, and it got away from Fortunato, and that allowed 2 runs to score, pushing the lead up to 3. And with Wade Denton coming in to pitch in relief, he came in and shut it down. Wade Denton faces off against 9 Grizzly batters and puts up 9 batters up and 9 batters down, and does a great job there. 2 ground outs and a little flare to right field for a fly ball out to end the ball game in the 9th inning. But Wade Denton came in and just shut things down. A lot of credit to him. A good pitching performance by the lefty, Nick Nolan. He came in and dealt and kind of got caught up there in that inning, the 4th inning for the Grizzlies, where they did their 2-run damage to cut the lead down to 1 for the Eagles, but to no avail. Wade Denton comes in there in the 5th inning and pitches 3 dandy innings for your Eagles. For the Eagle batting, 1 for 3 for Harmon. Mazik 0 for 1 in the ballgame, was hit by 2 pitches and drew a walk, scored a run. Hellman had 2 strikeouts, but he had a double and scored 2 runs. So the leadoff hitter still creating havoc when he got on base for the Eagles. Davis 1 for 4 scored a run. Klaus Kismore was 0 for 3, Heil 0 for 1, but Heil reached base on that error, and that was the big one there in the top of the 7th that allowed the 2 runs to score. Fall to second, Petty came in to score, pushing the lead out to 3. Bell went 1 for 4. Smith 0 for 3. Leininger 0 for 2 with a walk. Haddon 0 for 3. And Petty 0 for 3. But he scored a run when he reached on an error in the 7th inning by the shortstop, Barry Hill. So your Eagles improved to 10-1 on the year, 1-0 in district play, and they'll face off tomorrow night against the Marble Falls Mustangs at home, back on friendly turf in Georgetown, Texas. Pregame will be at 6:45. First pitch, 7 o'clock. Join us here on SHN. If you can't be out there at the field, we'll bring you the ball game. From this point out, the rest of the year, we'll have every baseball game for the Georgetown Eagles live on SHN Sports. Some of them you'll even be blessed with my trio of buddies. Me, Kelly Duvall, and Dave England will be around for several of the games during the year, but we'll have them live here on SHN Sports. Thanks for joining us tonight. 5-2, the Eagles win it. We'll see you tomorrow night live from Georgetown High School and Eagle Field for game number 2 of the district play season against the Marble Falls Mustangs. Remember, it doesn't cost a dime to be kind. Have a good night, everyone.